Shooting feint and kick feint. There are many ways to deceive an opponent in football, but one of the most intuitive and straightforward methods is, in a sense, deceiving yourself. What this means is that throughout a match, there are natural, expected timings for when you should pass, kick, or shoot. Ideally, a player should execute those actions in perfect harmony with the flow of the game. However, the opposing team is an ever-present variable. The technique of initiating a shooting or kicking motion and then abruptly canceling it using the initial movement as bait to bypass an opponent is widely known as a shooting feint or fake shot. While it may not be the flashiest move in your arsenal, it is an exceptionally high-utility skill. Fully understanding and mastering this technique will provide a significant boost to your overall match performance. First, the most fundamental shooting feint involves pretending to kick the ball, then slightly cutting, hooking it to push it toward the opposite side. This folding method is highly effective because it allows you to create a secondary shooting opportunity with your opposite foot in just one additional touch. However, if the opponent anticipates the move, the probability of losing possession is quite high. Therefore, it is best to use this specific technique only when you are absolutely certain that you have deceived the defender, particularly in high-success scenarios, such as when a defender is already committed to a sliding tackle. The second method also involves folding the ball, but with a key difference from the first style. Instead of pushing the ball far enough to immediately transition into an opposite foot shot, you slightly rotate and stop the ball to position it in the dead center of your body. While this approach requires one additional touch to execute the subsequent shot, it makes the ball significantly harder for the defender to steal. Furthermore, it offers the tactical flexibility to shoot again with your original foot if the situation demands it. The third variation is a technique frequently seen in futsal scenarios. Since futsal players primarily utilize the sole of the foot, it is very common to initiate a shooting motion and then abruptly trap the ball with the sole, as illustrated here. While rolling the ball toward the center of your body with the sole aligns with our second method, this specific variation involves pushing the ball forward in the same direction as your original intended strike. By doing so, you execute a go-stop rhythm, the fundamental principle of all effective feints. This sudden change in momentum baits the defender, creating a viable gap or window through which your subsequent shot can pass. The fourth method involves folding the ball behind your standing, plant foot. The primary advantage of this technique is superior ball retention. Because your body is positioned directly between the ball and the opponent, you create a natural barrier that makes the ball much harder to steal. On the other hand, a notable drawback is that the angle of the fold is relatively less aggressive compared to moves that bring the ball across the front of your body, making it a slightly less offensive option in transition. This behind the foot method can be further categorized into approximately 3 distinct variations. The first is the back foot technique, more commonly referred to in English-speaking regions as the behind leg. This specific move is exceptionally effective for shielding the ball from an opponent. The sequence begins with a shooting motion where you momentarily stall the ball using the sole of your foot. From there, you pull the ball behind your standing, plant foot and transition it to the opposite side. While the two-touch nature of this move might make it feel slower initially, dedicated and repetitive practice will allow you to execute this sequence with the same fluid speed as a single-touch folding motion. The second variation is the Cruyff. Named after the legendary Johan Cruyff, this move is excellent for breaking through by folding the ball in the opposite direction while feinting a kick. It is also highly effective for setting up a follow-up strike with your opposite foot. The secret to the Cruyff lies in the specific shape of your legs, as shown in the diagrams. Leg movements can be categorized into internal and external rotation. In this turn, while the plant, standing, foot remains stationary, the kicking foot rotates internally, inward, to create the signature, hooking, shape. While the folding angle may be less aggressive compared to forward-facing maneuvers, the primary advantage of the Cruyff is that it allows you to protect the ball while changing direction in a single, fluid motion. The third variation is the technique widely known as the Ronaldo chop. It is the signature move of Cristiano Ronaldo. As you can see, it involves faking a shot or a cross and then performing a slight hop to touch the ball behind your standing leg. Now, I will share one essential method to make all the shooting and kick feints we've discussed look more authentic and convincing to your opponent. The secret lies in the opposite arm swing, the arm opposite to your kicking foot. While this arm swing is naturally executed to maximize the power of your strike and maintain body balance, it is also a critical element of deception in a shooting feint. The more powerful and threatening your actual shots and kicks are, the more likely defenders are to be completely shaken off by the mere motion of this opposite arm swing.